to be the guided rockets and the close range. Right. The Fujin here, let's see what he's got. He has got level 5 Tulumas, level 6 Orbital,
Wow.
and a level 6
Check out those
Patton.
graphics, guys.
They're usually pretty good for some pretty good damage. Trick is you got to keep them on loaded, on track. Now the guided missiles, another Griffin, 2 level 9 Spyros, 2 level 9 Hydras. Let's
You
see
know,
what
and
we
at
do
the
with these
time, those
missiles.
were powerful weapons. Now they really are like throwing toothpicks at a dartboard.
Okay, now this has a lot of up and overs and arounds, so let's go ahead and go with the Griffin with the guided.
These
He's
are
got
all
Spyros and
bots.
he's
I
got
mean,
Hydros.
you
Let's see what we
guys,
can do with all those.
this is done a couple years ago. Let's see, 2019. It was done in
Well, for some
2019, and
reason, you
this
got to
is
kind of get
2021.
close.
So this is 2 years ago. I have older videos,
Which is
and I'm
quite a
going to
ways.
post
It's
one
just
of
a
them
matter of
soon. But isn't it amazing what we used to
nothing
do with so little?
like
And when you think about it,
hang on them around
in
corners
all the
every
money
once in
we've
a while.
spent on upgrades and this and that, it's kind of been pushed because we did just as well with these weapons and these bots. We did excellent. And now we have a whole bunch of strange stuff going on with the modules and, of course,
Go ahead, get past me.
I don't want to interrupt
Any
myself.
risks, no need for it. So I can go ahead and stand behind here and fire.
We have the modules, we have the drones. Used to be we didn't need them.
Check him out rather quickly.
So as you see, it's a progressive thing.
There, isn't it? Let's see about this Maverick.
Now these were top of the line bots then. This was the meta.
Now I have to get closer. May not be able to hit him because he stepped behind that building. Right, see?
You notice the graphics? Not quite what they are now today, are they? And the robots, top of the line robot was the Griffin there. That was like the bot to have, one of them.
We're hitting him with a few of them, but I really need a hiding place. The whole idea behind guided rockets is the fact that you can hide.
Very, very amazing. What we did was so little. And yeah. Let me give you an example of what we used to be doing. This is just one of the many. These were, like I say, the meta bots of the time. The Griffin was a top of the line bot. So this was the best we could do at the time, which was pretty good considering. You got to think, you know, these guys on the other side don't have any more advantage than we do. They have the same bots, just like now, except now we have modules, we have pilots, we have special abilities that were just unthinkable at the time. Nobody would have thought of spawning in like the Scorpion does nowadays, or you know, they wouldn't have thought of things like so many things we have an advantage today in general. I can think of so many, I'm stumped, you know, as to which one to mention first. But the shields, the modules, everything was just a big addition that when you think about it, everybody at the same time got them, so ergo they weren't technically a real advance. As far as the single player wasn't getting any real advantage, other than you had to spend a little more money to keep up with the crowd. And you know, my thing about that is don't spend the money so fast as you spend time on skill and getting yourself ready for the game. Skill outweighs skill outweighs the fancy add-ons and the money you can spend on it any day. Anyway, that's a good example of that one. So I'm just showing you, this is how I'm recording it, by the way, OBS. So another good example would be this, I think this is a correct one.
Go ahead and try
It gives you a good example of the old bots we dealt with. Let's go back here. Now you see this map? This is another thing. This is a thing of the past.
Match your picks out of your bay, which robot you want to use, to the map. This map has a lot of long straights, places to hide, so we want something that can shoot straight and long.
Who misses this map? I do.
So we're going to go with the Griffin, and of course he's wearing the mullets.
The Griffin, the mullets, as you can see, there's a
Hurry up, get him up there to
a big bot there. This is before, again, before not so many, before the modules, before all that. It was before Titans even. And we did so well, really. We're not doing any worse today. Not doing any better today. The reasons are obvious. Again, we have those people that spend a lot of money on it that are way ahead of the game, and those people that Pixonic, of course, requires, they want them to do upgrades. They want you to spend money. So without all these options, in other words, we wouldn't have to spend a lot of money. And the game was just as much fun, Pixonic. It really was. And I really like the upgrades, and, the tech of it, the fact that you got to keep up. But again, be careful that you don't get so far ahead of the game that the newbies don't understand it. Give the newbies a chance. They're worth their own in a way to gold. Without them, where would we be? And who wasn't a newbie at one time or another? Raise your hand. The mullet. I used to love the mullet. Now it's outdated. It doesn't do so much damage. And the sound effects, I have to hand it to Pixonic. They've been on the sound effects for the most part.
Let's go up there and finish this guy off. Somebody does it before us.
Also notice that 600 meters, the mullets are hitting pretty good. I don't know why the heck I'm shooting at 700 meters right now. There we go. The range is different. That's my point. I might be wrong. Maybe the mullets at one time had a 600 meter range. But we're hitting things here at 700 plus meters. So when you buff one weapon, of course, like the mullets, it opens up room for a new weapon that can fill in that gap for distance, long-range weapons.
Okay, as you see, it pretty much matched them pretty good there.
Nerf, and then pretty soon nobody's using it anyway. Which, again, it's a business strategy, I understand that. With the business strategy of doing that, you also have the requirement for people to spend more money to keep up. Yeah, I remember this. I didn't last too long after that one. But don't you remember this map, by the way? Wouldn't you like to see it back? I sure as heck would. Tell Pixonic about it in the help section. I have done that, by the way, so stay on and tell him you want to see this map back.
I shouldn't have left it hooked up there. When your head gets hooked like that, the best idea is just turn your head.
If you want to know what map it is, I am so sorry that I cannot recall at the time. Used to know it well, but it's been a long time. Like I say, this recording is years old. So, and here we go. This is a GI Patton I'm using right here.
This is a GI Patton.
Like I say.
He seems to be in a big hurry to do nothing.
Yeah, he is not a fast bot. Let's keep the wait. Also note the speed of the bots. They weren't that fast back then. And the Gecko weapons. Rarely see them anymore. They were pretty effective in their day. This GI Patton was unthought of as far as today's weapons. You wouldn't even think of using it. It's a weak bot as far as as going by today's standards on Pixonic's war robots. I have to hand it to them though. They've kept the game interesting in doing the things they do. I just think they should give
See what we
the
can do with the Geccos
more
and
of the
GI Patton.
occasional sudden,
Not hitting him.
not little things, but big
He's standing
bonuses.
behind something,
Just
blocking
randomly given to maybe
There he
the
goes.
most loyal players or the
Let's
people who have played the
really
longest.
get sneaky with all this
You know,
stuff on top.
encourage those people to stay with the game instead of just randomly giving them to everybody. It would give us,
Not hitting him either,
for
so
one thing, I'm being selfish here, it would give us veterans of the game a big advantage, and it would encourage the newcomers to the game to become veterans.
that's the thing about it. I guess I'm patient on waiting for these geckos to reload. It doesn't really take that long. I just want to go, you know. Ah, there we go. Now I'm hitting him again. We got somebody approaching closely here. He's a little more important to get rid of, so let's do it. And he's out of there with a little help from my friends.
Little help from my friends. Any of you guys in my age group would recognize that as a verse from a song. It's either the Rolling Stones or the Beatles.
That shouldn't take him much now for him to take him out.
Okay, kill me for this, but
Pretty
ooh, I get by with a little help from my friends.
And he's
That
out
song. All right.
there.
Waiting for him to
This guy
pop
clearly
up over
wants that
there.
beacon out of the middle. Can't let him have it. Come on up, buddy. And there he is, so let's hit him.
The GI Patton does a lot of damage with that weapon, doesn't it? And you know, it doesn't look familiar. Of course, the Gecko, I'm sure, has since been buffed in a big time, and even if it hasn't, armor.
I'm gonna try to hit this guy here. That keeps trying to go on our left flank.
Try not to interrupt myself.
We got a couple guys approaching on the right flank.
The armor and the
There
drones
he-
will protect you from a
Go ahead
Gecko
and
now.
fight it.
Gecko nowadays,
Make some
it's
ground
not as
here.
functional as it used to be. Now I'm a grinder, by the way, so I don't. If I have a weapon, I paid for it, bought it. It's nothing that I or won it. I didn't pay for it. I didn't buy it, I should say. I don't pay to play. I pay a little bit to play, but only enough that I think that they might need, and I should do it in appreciation. $2 or $3 here or there, not much. Usually it's $1 or $2 because they don't have $3 deals very often. But I do not indulge
long
them,
range with the geckos.
and they don't need it. I do not indulge them by spending 10 or 20 bucks on something, or even like some people who, I'm sorry, but I'm going to avoid insulting you by not saying anything at all. It's people who spend $99 on something. I think your family can probably use that money better
There he is. He's got
by a
shield,
long shot.
so trying to burn a hole in that.
The Gecko and the GI Patton. I don't even think you can buy a GI Patton anymore. It was one of the originals in the game.
I'm gonna go up there and try to cover for him.
I don't know how many of you remember when we had the GI Patton, the Cossack, and the Griffin. And then shortly thereafter came the long-range bot, the Natasha. But none of them are super effective anymore. And Natasha is somewhat, but you've got to upgrade it and support it with drones and special
Let my weapon reload.
modules. Let me see how much of this is left for you guys. Another 9 minutes if you don't mind. Just hang in there though, because you'll see how much we did with so little back then.
There's only one of them off
So
of
there
all
we
the
go.
beacons are ours. So that was that. A pretty good example of how two of them can do a heck of a job. Now let's move on and take a look
Amazing,
at
isn't
the
it?
other two and see how they can do.
And yeah,
The two
look
are
at these
going to
bots. These were
be
top of the line.
the guided
The
rocket
Fuji. Who
and
uses a
the
Fuji? How do you even know
close
what it
range
is? If you're a
missiles.
newbie.
The Fujin here
And newbie is not an insult,
is
guys. Don't take
got
it that way.
level 5
If you are a new
Columbus,
recruit, I should say,
level 6 Orkin,
fresh
and
recruit, a lot of you have a lot of skills to bring to the
you're
game
going to get some
already from
creepers from
previous
pretty good
play,
chickens
from
you got
other
to keep them
games.
on.
So don't take
Going
newbie
on
as an
track.
insult.
Now the guided missiles, another Griffin.
And again,
Two
if
level
like
9
I said
Spirals,
before,
two level 9 Hydras. Let's see what we can do with these two
if
guys.
you haven't noticed, you've been a newbie. You was a newbie at one time. Think about it.
Okay, now this has a lot of up and overs and around.
I'd only
Let's
been
go ahead
playing
and go
about
with the
2
Griffin
years
with
at
the
this
guided.
point.
It's
And
got
this was the
hull and it's
advancement
got
over
Hydras.
2
Let's
years.
see what
So
we can do
yeah,
with all this.
if you want to see something even more primitive, go to my YouTube page,
Trouble with them is
Sergeant Stoats, War Robots Clan videos,
see, they shoot far
and
away. It's just a matter of
you can see some of the videos there.
another thing I like.
The YouTube page is the best. Go to the oldest video I got there. I think it's called Natasha and his friend the Griffin or her friend the Nigger. The Griffin and his friend the Natasha, I believe is what it is. But it is the first video I ever did. It's been at least 4 years ago because I'd been playing 2 years before I started doing the creators, the videos.
I'm not going to take any risks. There's no need for it.
Notice that bot next to me. There's an oldie. But you know what? Them sons of bitches are still strong in today's game. You won't see them in the upper leagues, but they do very well in the mid to lower leagues. So still, because the armor on them is just amazing.
He stepped out of range. Now I have to get closer.
See, I still use these weapons, by the way. These, at least the Hydras.
Right. See.
No, you know what? I don't use the Hydras. I use these Spirals, which are the ones mounted on top.
Get out here and give it a try.
They're great. You can put them on there with a line of sight weapon, and they do well because what they do is they tend to. The Spirals will flush a person out from behind cover. Then you can hit them with your inline weapons. Excuse me. I'm just doing that to show you there's only a few minutes left in the video. Don't like to leave you hanging. I don't know, a lot of times I've felt like, when is this video going to end?
Let's try curve shot.
You guys, by the way, as you see, we only have a couple minutes left in the video, so I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Could look at some of my other stuff. It's mostly oriented to remembrance of the old games. I do get some new ones on there occasionally when I see that it's expedient that I think I need to do that.
Pretty good. I'm probably wondering how the hell I did that, though.
Don't forget the old bots and the old weapons then. That's the thing, people forget about them and then forget how dangerous they can be. Like that one. Guy's in mid-flight, you can't miss him. The Spyros and the Hydras tend to, I mean, you fire on somebody, they jump to get out of the way, it doesn't look good. This follows them through the whole jump. The Hydras and the Spyros do not miss as far as heat-seeking missiles. They are the way to go. You buff them up hard enough and you've got quite a weapon there. The downside is that people see that and they come after you because you are annoying. It's like, who's that guy hitting me that I can't even shoot at? So they go after you. So, you know, this is a big support bot again. I don't like camping, but I remember doing this at the time just to help to support campers. That was a mischoice of targets, but I did not see this guy right here. I didn't see him coming. hook it a little bit around the corner. Of course, the Griffin's down to 24,000 hit points, which it was, that meant something back then. Today it doesn't mean anything. 24,000 hit points, put that against what kind of hit points the new bots have today, and you have nothing. I mean, it's just weaker than all get out.
Big deal.
But again, Pixonic raises hit points as they raise the power of the weapons, so you don't really get a lot of gain on it, because the way they upgrade weapons and hit points on bots at the same time. But they are a business. They do have to make a buck. I really want that beacon right now, by the way. As many years ago as this has been, I still remember thinking that.
Okay, well, it wasn't a bad battle, considering. These I really don't like
the fusion.
Spider things, because
Spider
they trip
things.
everybody up. They get in the way more than anything.
I still believe that the legs of the spiders get in the way. It takes a certain responsibility to fight a spider so that you don't trip up your clanmates or teammates.
Hey, we might just be able to get up there.
You know, I don't remember if we lost this game or won it. You guys are watching this with me. I haven't for a long time. I haven't watched it since I posted it. Remember that first map, by the way, that I played. Go ahead and look it up. It's easy to look up on Google, just like anything. I don't remember. That's not Shenzhen. No, that's not Shenzhen. I was thinking maybe it was. But the maps, as you notice, they come, some of them disappear. We miss them, you Pixonic. Mix it up a little more for us. The moon map, by the way, just came up, and let's see, what's the date today? Today is, I'm looking at my phone, of course. There we go. It's 5:22 in Arizona here, Friday, August 20th. So now, as of, you know what, 2 days ago, I believe, we have a lot more going on. So, but anyways, there is the video. And as you can see, I was using BlueStacks at a time. I no longer use that. I used that way early on in my video productions. Today, I am using...
Let's get this player.
Oh, guess who?
Trying to suppress it.
I'll pause that.
Units lost an advantage pair.
There we go. Everybody likes that guy. Anyways,
so
I do too. I learn a lot from
Adrian. Is going to
Adrian.
be pretty fast. I'm just looking.
There. Anyways, you guys, you know, hang in there. Do what you